Hey friend, Brandy Falcon here with Falcon Healing Arts. If you are stressed out and you're wanting to do something about it that is long lasting and also greatly improves your life, then please keep watching because not all stress relieving activities are the same. And I have 5 aspects that you may want to consider to determine which stress management techniques you should engage in to keep the negative effects of stress at bay. But before we break it down, you may want to pause and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the videos that I put out weekly. I offer self-care and holistic health advice for families, and managing stress is a huge part of what I do. So if this is something that you are actively working on, you will definitely want to subscribe. So let's talk about stress. Now, it's definitely perceived differently by everyone, but we know that the people who do take on a lot of stress and it builds over time, it can negatively affect their physical, mental, and emotional health. So it's pretty serious, and managing stress is something that you want to be doing daily. And some ways of managing it are worlds better than others. And I want to make sure that you are doing the best for your holistic health. So what are the 5 aspects of a stress management technique that are important? Before we get into this, I would love for you to think about or write down a few of the techniques that you turn to. If you've had a bad day or a bad week especially, what are the things that you do at the end of the day or the end of the week that help you feel better, that allow you to release your stress? Because I want you to think of these as we go through this list, and maybe you're not releasing as completely as you could by doing something else. So the number one thing that I usually consider with any stress management technique that I'm recommending to someone is this holistic? Is this really helping someone with their physical, mental, and emotional health? We usually prioritize the body. So you may have a tension headache that you know is because of some stressful activities that you've been dealing with, but you may just seek to manage the pain of the headache. And you may turn to something like an over-the-counter or pharmaceutical drug that is not necessarily good for your health. And you're not getting to the root of why you are experiencing this stressful tension headache. There is still obviously something happening in your mind or some strong emotions that you're carrying that are manifesting physically as the headache. So we definitely want to be addressing them. And then there's also the spiritual aspect too, that if we're feeling that we're not supported in our life, then we are definitely going to be carrying more stress with us, feeling that the world is a very heavy weight. And so doing an activity that gives you access not only to relieving stress physically, but also emotionally, mentally, and giving you this greater spiritual perspective of what's happening is going to be the most impactful. But you still need to be careful because you could be doing something like yoga, which is known to be holistic, but you could still be prioritizing just the body. I've been a yoga teacher for over 20 years. I still see this all the time, where people are not reflecting on what is happening as they're doing the practice. It could still be very quick, and you could be very disconnected to what you're doing if you're focused on the teacher or people in the class or just keeping up with a fast pace. And this has to do with how yoga is taught these days too. So for stress management, you definitely want to be approaching yoga in a different way. So again, whether you're choosing to do yoga or some other activity, it's important to have equal interest in these deeper aspects of the self where there is mindfulness and there is introspection and you're actually processing what is happening. in order to release stress and anxiety fully. So this brings us to the second point to consider, and that is, with your stress relieving activity, are you checking out or are you checking in? So when we're watching TV, when we're doing anything where we're focused on something outside of us and there is no reflection, so this is kind of tied to the first point, but when we are focused outward, we are checking out. And that may feel really good temporarily, but the stress is still going to be there when your show is over. And then you might have other things going on where you might have trouble sleeping at night because of the blue light from the screen, because of the program that you are watching. And I'm not saying don't watch TV, although I could argue that it's not the best thing for your mind, but just not to rely on it to release stress. There are much better activities like journaling, where you could just spend 10 minutes writing down how you're feeling, how it's showing up in your body, mind dumping everything that is on your mind, and that will help you process what's going on. And just the action of writing is a release, and you're able to let go of the intensity of your emotions and also physical tension. Now, this third one might trigger a few of you because I realize that these are not sounding very fun. So the third is that you want to be doing something that's going to support your health and not damage it. And this is really important to talk about because you might be choosing something like drinking a lot of alcohol or using drugs, which is more fun to do. It does help relieve stress, but is damaging your health. I'm in California, and right now, as we're recording this video, we're 6 months into the coronavirus pandemic, and there is a lot of uncertainty. People are financially unstable, mentally and emotionally unstable. We also just had a weird thunderstorm and a huge heat wave, and now the whole state is pretty much on fire. So there are many people who are very, very stressed right now and have been stressed continuously since March for 6 months. And I have seen friends talk about how they are drinking more than ever right now, and also dealing with their kids who they're trying to do distance learning with at home. This is not a sustainable way to manage stress. So I don't care if I am sounding not fun when I'm talking about this, but when I'm offering someone advice about managing stress, it needs to be something that is healthy and actually helps you to function better on all levels. Now, the fourth thing you may want to consider is, and we've already alluded to this, is this activity something that's going to help me short term or long term? And with the long term, there is also this possibility that you're going to be developing yourself to a degree that stress is not going to affect you so much. We've already mentioned a few of the very relaxing things that help short term. Watching TV, having a glass of wine or beer, definitely take the edge off. And I'm a fan of those. I'm also a fan of getting massages, getting my nails done, pedicure and everything. These are important self-care activities, or some that if done just here and there don't harm much. But are these sustainable and long-lasting? Are they helping you to be more easygoing with your life in general and just not take on as much stress? These are the things that you can consider. And if you're wanting to improve the quality of your life, you may as well invest your time into something that works long term. And the fifth and final aspect that would be lovely for you to consider is this activity helping me connect with others? Whatever you choose to manage your stress will be more impactful if it's felt by others in a positive way. It's very clear that when I am consistent with my activities, my home is more harmonious, My relationships are better outside of the home, and I seem to attract more beneficial opportunities. And even if there is a lot of drama going on outside in the community, then I don't seem to take it on as easily. So what about meeting friends for a hike or going out to dinner? Spending time with friends can be extremely supportive depending on how it's going. So if you're able to express yourself freely, if you're both able to help each other grow personally, then that is awesome. It's a different flavor when we're just going out with our friends and drinking and just complaining about how life sucks. So is what you're doing helping everyone release stress, develop personally, and live a more joyful life? So I'm super curious to hear what you think about these suggestions. Again, I know this is going to turn a lot of people off, and that is really not my intention at all. Again, I am so supportive of self-care activities, but there is a distinction between those and stress management techniques. And I'm only going to recommend what works effectively and consistently. So please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear what your favorite stress management activities are, and if you're thinking of changing that up, or if you think what you're doing is really supporting you holistically. If you're wanting to learn more about stress relieving activities, you may want to join my Stress Less Holistic Health Challenge that is happening on September 28th. It's a 5-day free challenge that you can join, and I'll put the link in the description below. This challenge would be great for you if you have a hard time being consistent with your activities, if you want some more accountability. We have a Facebook group that you can join where other people can inspire you and really help make these techniques habits in your life. So I hope you'll take some time to check out the breathing exercises, yoga videos, other self-care advice, and you could start off with these 2 videos right here. Well wishes, friend. I hope to connect with you soon. Take care.